Hello everyone and welcome to Spanish Obsessed Beginners from Scratch series. This series is for you if you have literally no knowledge of Spanish and want to learn the basics. I'm Rob and I'm English, and we also have Liz.
Hola.
Who is Colombian, and will be guiding you through your first foray into Spanish. We hope to teach you all the basic vocabulary and grammar that you need to navigate through the Spanish speaking world, and we have a big emphasis on phrases and pronunciation. So, here's how it works. Me and Liz will have a conversation in Spanish as happens across the Spanish speaking world millions of times every day. Then, we'll repeat that conversation slowly, giving you time after each phrase to repeat what we say. It's really important that you do that, as it helps to properly anchor it in your mind. We suggest that you rewind this part and repeat it until you've really got it. It's actually a good idea to memorize the conversation. Then, we'll take the conversation apart and really analyze everything we said. We'll teach you the snippets of grammar which we used, what the vocabulary was and how that's used, and we'll really hone in on the specifics of the pronunciation. Finally, we'll give you a couple more bits of Spanish you can use as well. This is usually pretty informal, cool Spanish stuff. People are going to be impressed if you can use this. Also, check out all of our associated materials below the podcast on SpanishObsessed.com. Okay, in our first situation, Rob and Liz meet each other for the first time, but we don't know each other. Hola, ¿eres Liz?
Sí, soy Liz. ¿Eres Juan?
No, no soy Juan, soy Rob.
Lo siento. Mucho gusto.
Un placer. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Espectacular. And now we'll repeat with spaces for you to repeat each phrase after us. Hola, ¿eres Liz?
Sí, yo soy Liz. ¿Eres Juan?
No, no soy Juan, soy Rob.
Ah, lo siento. Mucho gusto.
Un placer. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Espectacular. Okay, so here's our analysis of our conversation. So the first phrase that I said was Hola, ¿eres Liz? And as I'm sure everyone already knows, hola means hello. You don't pronounce the H, so it's not hola, it's hola. Hola. ¿Eres Liz? Means, are you Liz? Eres means, well, it can mean two things, depending on how you pronounce it. It can mean, are you, as in the question, are you Liz? Or it can mean, you are, like you are Liz. So listen to two examples, and this is how you can make a really simple question in Spanish. ¿Eres Liz?
Sí,
¿Eres Liz?
soy Liz.
So in the first one, ¿eres Liz? That's a question, because the intonation goes up. ¿Eres Liz? And in the second one, I'm telling her she's Liz. You're Liz. ¿Eres Liz?
Afirmativo.
And then Liz said,
Sí, yo soy Liz. ¿Eres Juan?
so, sí is yes. And she said, yo soy Liz. So, yo, I, soy, I am, Liz. So, eres and soy are both taken from the verb said. We won't look into this verb in too much detail today because it's an irregular verb, but it's very important to know how to say I am and you are. And to say I am is soy. And then I said, no soy Juan, soy Rob. So to make a negative in Spanish is very easy. All you do is just say no before the verb. And this is no, N-O. So we don't pronounce it like we do in English, which is no. It has to be a much more pure vowel sound. So no, o, no. So yo soy Rob means I am Rob. And to make that negative, no soy Rob. So listen to this example. ¿Eres Laura?
No, no soy Laura. Soy Liz.
And then Liz said,
Ah, lo siento. Mucho gusto.
so the way in Spanish to say I'm sorry is lo siento, which literally means I feel it. So it's a very romantic Spanish thing. I feel it. I feel how sorry I am. I feel your pain. And then she said, mucho gusto, which means it's like a pleasure, but it's something that you say to someone when you meet them for the first time.
Always use mucho gusto.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of varieties you can use, but mucho gusto is a nice, easy one to use.
There was one.
And then I said, un placer. ¿Cómo estás? So, as an alternative to mucho gusto, you can say un placer, which means a pleasure. So it's another thing you'd say when you meet someone. And then I said, ¿Cómo estás? And this is how you say, how are you? So it's a very important phrase, obviously. ¿Cómo? How? ¿Estás? Are you? Estás is taken from the verb estar, which also means to be. So you have two different verbs to be. We won't go into too much detail on that now, but it's good to be aware of. So, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And then Liz said,
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
so, bien is good, and muy is very. Put them together, muy bien, very good. So if you want to say you're very bad, which you don't normally say when you first meet someone, you can say muy mal. So bien is good, mal is bad. Muy bien, muy mal. ¿Y tú? So obviously it's polite to ask how someone else is. ¿Y tú? Just means and you. ¿Y tú? And finally, I said espectacular, which literally means spectacular. Obviously it sounds a bit strange if someone asks you in English how you are and you say spectacular, but in Spanish it's quite common and it's a nice thing to say, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one more time the conversation. Hola, ¿eres Liz?
Sí, yo soy Liz. ¿Eres Juan?
No soy Juan, soy Rob.
Ah, lo siento. Mucho gusto.
Un placer. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Espectacular.
I use always super.
Super. That's
Super,
a nice
I like
alternative.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's really easy to remember as well. Super.
super.
Of course, you have to roll the R at the end of super. You can't say super. Super.
Super.
And we've got a couple of additional phrases for you, which they use in South America. They say,
¿Qué más?
¿Qué más? Which means, well, literally, it means what else? But it's really common, isn't it? Say, ¿Qué más?
Yeah, to start a conversation. ¿Y qué más?
¿Y qué más? You can also say, ¿Cómo vas? ¿Cómo vas? Which literally means, how are you going? What's another alternative?
¿Qué cuentas?
¿Qué cuentas? ¿Qué cuentas? That literally means, what do you say? Which sounds very strange in English, but this is a good one to use in Spanish. And then finally, there's one which the Spanish Bugs Bunny uses, and which is pretty cool as well. And what's that, Liz?
¿Qué de nuevo?
¿Qué de nuevo? ¿Qué de nuevo?
¿Qué hay de nuevo.
Ah, sorry. So, ¿qué hay de nuevo?
Yeah.
So, in English, Bugs Bunny says, "What's up, Doc?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
Spanish
In
alternative.
Spanish, is like a ¿qué hay de nuevo, viejo? It's quite cold, but yeah.
And they use that a lot?
I think a few years ago, actually, no, a lot, but yeah.
Ah, so
No.
you won't sound too current if you use that
Yeah,
now.
no, but you can use ¿qué hay de nuevo? ¿Qué hay
Okay.
de nuevo?
So KI
Mhm.
means what's up, KI,
Mhm.
and de nuevo means what's new. So what's up that's new?
Exactly.
¿Qué hay de nuevo? Okay, that's all from our first Beginners from Scratch series. We hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out the corresponding materials below this podcast on SpanishObsessed.com. So, from Rob, hasta luego, and from Liz,
Adiós y gracias.